Rambertino di Guido Buvalelli, a Bolognese judge, statesman, diplomat, and poet, was the earliest of the podestà-troubadours of 13th-century Lombardy. He served at one time or other as podestà of Brescia, Milan, Parma, Mantua, Genoa, and Verona. 10 of his Occitan poems survive, but none with an accompanying melody. He is usually regarded as the first native Italian troubadour, though Cossezen and Peire de la Caravana may precede him. His reputation has secured a street named in his honor in his birthplace, the Via Buvalelli Rambertino in Bologna. Political career. Rambertino was a law student at the University of Bologna in his youth and became attached to the Est court not long after. It was that he made the acquaintance of Beatrice d'Este, whom he celebrates in all his songs. He was patronized by Occitan and he had strong ties to the Guelph party in Italy. He first appears as podestà of Brescia in 1201, when the Annalbrixienses record that Receptus est Rambertinus potestas. He made peace that year with Cremona, Bergamo, and Mantua. In 1203 he was again in Bologna, serving as a procurator, his term in Brescia having ended. The next 5 years are obscure from a distance of 800, but he was podestà of Milan in 1208. He appears in Milanese documents as Lambertinus Bondalis and Lambertinus de Bonarelis, but there is no doubt among historians that they are references to the troubadour. In 1209 Rambertino was back in Bologna, where he was consul di giustizia. In 1212 he was serving as ambassador for Pope Innocent IV, so Cardinal Legate Ugo di Sessa, soon to be Bishop of Vercelli, to Modena. But by May he had returned to Bologna. Buvalelli was procurator of Bologna again in 1212, though it is a myth that Rambertino was involved in a property dispute involving Sambuca during the guerrilla between Pistoia and Bologna that year. He was podestà of Parma in 1213. He resumed the office of consul in Bologna in 1214 and swore to uphold the league between Bologna and Reggio, nell'Emilia that year. Rambertino was podestà at Mantua between 1215 and 1216, his longest term yet. In 1217 he was elected to the podestiera of Modena, to which he had formerly served briefly on an embassy. In 1218 Rambertino was named to the podestiera of Genoa and he held it for 3 consecutive years through 1220. It was probably in his 3 years at Genoa that he introduced Occitan lyric poetry to the city, which was later to develop a flourishing Occitan literary culture. Rambertino was again offered the podestiera of Modena in 1221 but refused it because of a papal injunction of Honorius III. In that very year he was named podestà of Verona, a post he accepted, but he died in September. His obituary reads, MCCXXI. Hoc de mens Septembris obat Dominus Lambertis Buvalelli potestas Verone. Poetic career. Rambertino probably learned Occitan by reading anthologies rather than through contact with other troubadours. His poetry, modest in volume, is skilled and the poet utilized difficult rhyme schemes and alliteration. Rambertino's technical proficiency is evident and his language is unadulterated by Italianisms. As one of the earliest Italian troubadours, it is perhaps unsurprising that he stuck with the theme of courtly love and wrote only cansos. He did have contact with other troubadours, notably Elias Carel, whom at the end of Toz Mera de Chantageques he asks to bring the poem to Beatrice at the escort, and perhaps it was Rambertino's deft treatment of love that prompted Pera Raimonda Tolosa to address his to Finamore son to eat me pesamen, described as one of the finest descriptions of Finamore ever written to him. Works. Rambertino's surviving poems are listed alphabetically: Alcor mestai lamoris desaras, Dun salumi voil entremita, quant floris in li verga, Usai la flor plus bila de autre flor. Ges de chanter nom voil gequire. Mout chantera droi volunteers. Pois vei quel temps sa serena. Sa mund rest or pons plaza. Sena scel chile pusha. Toz mera de chantar gequiz.